You ever get into a situation where your woman doesn't ever take responsibility? In fact, when you bring something up, it's always a deflection. It's always something else. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always your fault. And she never actually gets to the root of what's happening. And when you ask her questions, you always get these generalized answers, and so you don't really know if you ever got the truth, or you always feel like you got the half-truths. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what this is and what you can do to get through this once and for all. My name is Baxter, and I help guys in betrayal situations. The process of being with a woman for 50 years or a woman that you're dating is pretty much the same. For us, it's just science. Because we know the patterns, we know the solutions. It's not that complicated. You have to make a commitment for yourself. That's what it means to be in Soul Seducer program. That's what it means to work with me directly. So that you can learn to handle your emotions, so you can learn to see right into a woman's soul and seduce her from within, to create this garden that she can actually thrive in. We'll get you to that place where you make the right decision for you and your children. So there's a few ways that she'll deflect. The first one is she'll just ignore the fact that you asked the question. She just won't answer it. She'll act like she didn't hear you. And this one can be maddening because you know she heard you and she's just walking away. She won't actually talk to you. If she does this, take note of it. Say, I know you hear me and I know you're ignoring me, but just know that this isn't going to go away. And that's how you end it. You say it like that. And then you're going to have to bring it up another time. And if she keeps doing this, unfortunately, you're going to have to escalate. Guys don't usually want to escalate with their woman. They don't want to have a fight with her, especially if he's with a woman who's manipulative. She's usually pretty good at poking his buttons and shutting him down and making him feel smaller than. And for you as a guy dealing with this type of behavior, if you're dealing with somebody with narcissistic tendencies or whatever, it can be maddening because on your side, you're thinking, how can you treat somebody this way? Because I would never treat somebody this way. That doesn't make any sense. How can you treat me this way? And so there's a whole portion of you who needs to learn to value yourself above other people in a sense. It doesn't mean you're better than other people. It just means you have to be self-interested in yourself and hold other people to the same standard that you hold yourself. The biggest trick that she uses is she'll give you the silent treatment when you bring something up, or she'll deflect immediately and give you generalized answers. Like say if he wants to know where she went, she'll just give him generalized answers because if she gives him something specific, it makes it hard for her to lie. She can't give you that specific language because this means she has to remember it. And if she's lying about this over and over and over again, she's going to forget the specific language she said, and then you're going to catch her in a lie. So she doesn't want to give you that specific language. She wants to give you a bunch of generalities that she can then say later on that you just didn't hear properly, or that you just misheard things, or that you're just making things up. And this is where the gaslighting will come in. Then she'll start to make you defend yourself. Why are you bringing this up? Well, you always cause these problems. You always ruin a good night. It's like, what are we talking about here? I just want to know what you were doing yesterday. Like, you said you went to the gym, you're gone for 3 hours. I want to see what you were up to. You must have done something cool. I just want to share, you're sharing your day. Share your day. Tell me what you're up to. I'll tell you what I was up to. We have making conversation because we're a couple. That's what we do. We talk about mundane shit that we did for the day. But you can't have this conversation about the mundane shit because she doesn't want you to know what she actually did. So she's going to start deflecting it and start telling you you're nosy, you're controlling, and all this stuff. And then you start to get paranoid, and so you start to ask her more questions. Which then she starts to say you're more controlling and more paranoid and that you're just insecure and that your insecurity is pushing her away. And then you're like, well, I just wanted some answers as what's happening. Now she's blaming me for the fact that she was gone for 3 hours. Now she has to be gone for 3 hours because somehow I'm driving her away. And the other end of this, we find out she's having an affair with her trainer or some other bullshit. Or she's spending a lot of money getting credit cards that he didn't know about. And a lot of these guys have to give her a credit card because she just spends and spends and spends and spends. There's no boundaries there. Like she will not adhere to any of his boundaries. She just spends, so he cuts her off, gives her a credit card, and says, this is your limit for the month. And it's wild to me how guys just let this go. And so most men that are really nice people, very nice guys, very guys that are caring and loving, all the guys that I work with are this way. Because all the guys that I work with are dealing with some sort of manipulative behavior with a woman. That's why they come to me, because I show them how to deal with this. And they're dealing with this manipulative behavior, and they can't understand why their woman would treat them the way that they do. And so he gives her this free pass. Well, she's had a bad day or whatever, and he makes excuses for her. And he does his best to try to make her happy. And so he performs more and more and more, trying to make her happy because she's upset or angry or frustrated. And he wants to help her, and he wants her to feel better, and he cares about her. But then the more that he does this, the worse that it gets. And the more that he does this, the less love and affection that he gets. And the more that he does this, the less intimacy that she wants to have with him. And so he goes down this road where it's just, he does more and more and more, and then he's begging for table scraps of affection. And these guys hide the fact of how bad these women are. So I just got to the point where I just assume she's pretty bad. And it has been right 95% of the time. He'll get on a call with me, or I'll be in a coaching call, or a Zoom call or something. I'll talk to him, and then I don't realize, he'll just say, well, she's a good woman, but she gets upset here and there. And then I find out she's saying shit like, you piece of shit, I can't believe you do this, you always, and she's just laying into him, like swearing at him, cussing at him, calling him names, just telling him that he just can never get it right, he's a piece of shit, or that he's a narcissist, which is a hallmark of what we're dealing with here. If they call you a narcissist, that's usually a red flag, a big one, that she's pretty much projecting all of her shit onto him. And so we deal with a lot of that projection where she doesn't want to take any accountability, a lot of victimhood, a lot of save me, but when you do save me, it's not good enough, it's not right enough, and you can't do anything right. I get a lot of entrepreneurial guys because these kind of guys will work harder than anybody else, and they can produce more than anybody else. They can make a lot more money. And so the reason that I work with these guys, because that woman exploits it. And so these guys are in this unique position where this woman has learned how to get this powerful guy to give up all his power and financial gain to her. And all she has to do is just keep making him feel lower, keep making him feel like he's failing. Even though he's crushing it in the business, but some reason in his relationship he feels like he's failing. And so the entrepreneur, what he'll do is, instead of looking, saying, hey, I got the wrong woman, he'll say, oh, I'm just not doing it right. I'm just not doing it right. I'm just not approaching it right. Because that's what you do in business, right? If your business isn't going well, you're like, I'm just not approaching it right. I don't need to change businesses. I don't need to change the woman. I just need to approach it differently. I just need to have a different angle, a different offer. And then my business is viable. But with your woman, you say, well, I just need to approach her with a different angle. I just need to approach her with a different offer. And she still acts this way. It's not a market problem. It's a woman problem. Like, she's the problem. But she's made it sound like he's the problem because she projected all her nastiness onto him. He's the reason that everything is bad in her life. And so the guy, the entrepreneur, is uniquely susceptible to this type of manipulation. And he becomes her draft horse. He becomes her freaking slave. And he listens to her vent. He listens to all her emotional abuse. He just listens and listens and listens. And he tries so hard to make her feel happy. Tries so hard to get her to calm down. He'll get a housekeeper. He'll get babysitters. He'll get landscapers. He'll get a bigger house. He'll get the boat. He'll get the beach house. We just need more vacations. We got to get away from here. I'm stressed and all this stuff. And it becomes this big thing. And she's drinking more. And it's just a whole big shit show. And so he comes to me. He says, hey, Ed, how do we deal with this? And you can ignore reality for only so long before reality is just going to come and slap you in the face. And then it comes to me, we have to unpack this. And the first thing he wants to do is, how do I get my wife back? How do I get my wife to love me again? And I say, okay, well, I know you're in a place now where you're not going to listen to anything else. So I'm going to give you the tools necessary to have the good collisions with her, to try to get her to come to the table and do all these things. And then he does these things, and she does come to the table. And eventually he realizes that this woman doesn't love him at all. He eventually realizes this woman, he's barking up the wrong tree. It's just not going to happen. So then we go into the second process of, let's get you into your power. Let's get you into the guy that this stuff doesn't work on anymore. Let's get you so powerful that she either submits to not being manipulative with you ever again, or she has to leave because it's uncomfortable. Either way, he wins because now he's found himself again. Now he's not this trap. Now he's not this slave. Now he's not this draft horse for this woman. Then from this place, he stops the manipulation and she starts to become better because manipulation no longer works. She starts to become better. They can actually start having a good relationship. But more often than not, she doesn't like the fact that he's telling her no. More often than not, she doesn't like the fact that he's standing up for himself. He's standing into his power. She doesn't like this guy being this way. And she'll look me up, find out that he's taking my course, and then she'll say, I'm in a cult. He's in a cult. This guy's a misogynist. For teaching guys how to stand up for themselves. So it's quite hilarious. Because what she has to do is she has to shit on the program. She has to shit on me as a coach in order to split him from the one place he's getting power from. Because as long as he's in my world, he's got power. If she can get him away from me, then she can control him again. And so this is where she'll come in and she'll try to play this game of sabotaging the entire relationship with me and my client. Which is fine. I'm used to it. We've been doing this a long time. I know exactly how to get around this bullshit. And then what ends up happening is he gets into his power. And then she either becomes a great wife or she leaves. And then he finds a woman who absolutely fucking appreciates the hell out of him. And I love that part. Now we get back into the dating game and finding a woman who really appreciates. Most guys, what ends up happening is if they don't get training or coaching, they end up getting with the same kind of woman again. So the woman will manipulate and emasculate him completely until she can't stand his fucking face. Then she'll divorce him or have an affair and divorce him, take as much of his cash as she can, often leveraging the kids in order to get more of that and alienating his children. And then he finally comes to me and said, Ed, how do I clean this up? I'm like, whew, we got a lot to clean up, but we can do it. But you got to get to work. You got to get to work fast. If you're in that situation, click the link in the description below. Check out Soul Seducer or Broken and Badass. I'll help you out massively. I've been doing this a long time. I know this game better than she does. I know her better than she knows herself. And I know exactly what you're going to do in relation to her every single time. So I know how to get around it. I know how to help you get around it. And so I know I'm kind of diverting from the original thing in this video, which was if she's deflects, she's hiding this. But if she's deflecting this much, if she's doing all these things, just realize that you're dealing with a lot bigger problem. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful for you, brother. If it is, type in the comments below about how it's been helpful. Give me some success stories or tell me where your situation is right now. I read everyone. I'll respond to you. And I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.